Well, Greg, you and I got to see some free wrestling pre-duel tonight. There was a high school duel here in the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse in Pittsburgh featuring Reynolds High School and Erie Cathedral Prep. Making the trip to the Fitz, Reynolds High School coming out on top, which happens to be the high school of our next Panther wrestler, Cole Matthews, but enjoyed having the high schoolers in here early tonight.
Yeah, and DeJon Casto as well had attended Cathedral Prep for a couple of years. It was awesome to see this matchup. AA versus AAA, Reynolds and AA, Cathedral Prep and AAA, two of the top teams out here in Pennsylvania. It was a lot of fun to see those two go at it.
I have to think that hopefully Cole and DeJon got the opportunity to chat with some familiar faces in attendance here tonight, and would have to think that some of those high school wrestlers stuck around to see a great duel here tonight and see plenty of ranked wrestlers on this Panther roster. Cole Matthews at number 3 in the nation, and he is coming out in hopes to respond well after suffering his first loss of the season Sunday against West Virginia here in the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse against Jordan Titus.
Yeah, he wanted to get to his offense early. You could see it here. Cole Matthews, a guy who is more of a reactionary wrestler and did pretty well with it, as far as, because he was so hard to score on and could really score from his defense. This year, you're trying to get a little bit more offensive, and when you're in a close matchup like that with a guy like Titus, Titus was wrestling defensively, making sure not to let Matthews get any points. Matthews actually drew a stall call from Titus early on in that first period, but unfortunately, we couldn't get much on the scoreboard, and Titus took advantage late.
Yeah, Matthews looks to have a different energy here tonight, though.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's getting after Marlow. Wants to get the points on the board early. Wants to get to his attacks. Yeah, if anyone's really looking for a statement win, it's Cole Matthews here tonight.
Keith Gavin said that he handles it well, having that high ranking next to his name. It always attracts more attention. People are more aware of what you do. Guys like Jordan Titus probably have that extra added incentive to go out and get a victory when there's a number 1 next to the opponent's name. And Cole Matthews has responded well throughout the week and coming out with a quick 8-1 lead here in his match against Jack Marlow.
Yeah, and he just wants to continue to rack up points. Really to make up, I think, for last Sunday in that matchup. I'll tell you, that's one thing you gotta. It almost goes into the disadvantage for Matthews. As you look at the takedown here for Matthews, just a nice tight shot, getting the 2. Got a nice tilt as well on a. It's almost just really like a tight waist tilt. He's using his strength to take Marlow over. Shot here by Marlow. Matthews spins behind. But the biggest thing you look at for those top-ranked guys is that when somebody's looking to upset them, they want to not give up the points early and try to get their takedown late. You can see it not only, you're going back to junior high, high school, into college. That's exactly what happened to Matthews. But where it kind of hurts Matthews a little bit is he's a little bit of a reactionary wrestler, where he can take somebody's aggressiveness and put points on the board for himself. So one thing with that higher ranking, I think he's learning, he's got to get to his offense, and he's got to be the one attacking and not waiting, because late in the match, things like that can happen.
So a 10-2 lead for Matthews. Expect that he might end up at that riding time point as well. He's had a tremendous career here at Pitt. 5th place at NCAA championships last season, an ACC title, the first of his career, 74 wins in his time at Pitt. And Greg, what's impressive to me is that in between all of that, suffered a torn ACL, worked his way back, and coming back from an ACL finds his way to the top of the polls, and for much of this year was the number 1 wrestler in his weight class in the country.
Yeah, it just shows you what could have been if he didn't get hurt throughout his whole career. But he's handled it well. He's coming back last year, and you could still tell. I mean, that may be part of the why he was reactionary to a degree last year, because of that. Still coming back from an ACL injury. I mean, it's not easy to do. But now that he's fully healthy, 100%, could tell he can wrestle with anybody.
Keith Gavin said his jump last year was pretty unheard of. Came in last year ranked 17th in the country and now at number 3, and works a lot with Luke Pletcher. Luke Pletcher joining the Panther staff a couple seasons ago, and he had a tremendous career in his own right at the 141 class. And helps for Matthews to have a guy like that to work with.
Yeah, Pletcher, an All-American himself. PA guy, much like Cole Matthews. Yeah, you look at Pletcher, it's unfortunate for him. You know, he was at Ohio State. He was the top-ranked wrestler at 141, the #1 seed at the NCAA tournament when COVID hit. Just a matter of what may have been for Luke Pletcher. You might be looking over at the bench at another NCAA champion. But it's a great partner to have, you know, for Matthews. You know, I'm sure he and Philippi still go around a lot, but you know, you look at, you know, I don't know if Pletcher's put on much weight. He still looks like he could go wrestle 141, right?
He probably wants to. It's good to see those guys staying involved in the sport, though. And Pletcher has been such a great addition for Pitt, and started on the staff in 2020. Now as an assistant coach along with Drew Headley and Keith Gavin adds Jake Wenzel to the staff as well. So great to see Gavin building that staff of guys that are just passionate about the sport.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know, they lost a great coach, you know, obviously with Jordan Lean, and get Luke Pletcher to step into his spot, get Jake Wenzel in the mix now. It's, you got a talented coaching crew, and when you have that, you can get guys to really, you know, exceed some expectations. And really what it comes down to is exceeding those expectations in March. Talk about it often, but just all this hard work, everything these guys do for one weekend of wrestling.
Yeah. But they've got a lot of guys this year that could pull it off.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know, they got some highly ranked wrestlers, and that could lead to some really big things for the team. Takedown here will not give him the technical fall. He'd have to end up, you know, waiting till the ride time point goes into effect. But if he can get the technical fall here, 3 bonus point wins for the Panthers to start. It's huge, especially when we talk about Buffalo and their strength in the bottom half. So you give one more, so he's got to get one more. Does Matthews, and nice outside single. He's going to get it. Doesn't need the ride time point. There's the tech fall.
So Cole Matthews makes it a 2nd technical fall on the night for the Panthers and a 3rd bonus point win for Pittsburgh. They are coming out dominant so far tonight through 3 matches.
Yeah, they're getting to their offense. Totally, it's like night and day, you know, as far as getting to that offense and really wrestling strong here. When you look at the way Matthews just attacked this entire match. And, yeah, coming out, statement win. Indeed. I mean, you're pulling guys over just with